Such a great performance from Skilless, and it really does make me excited to see what more he can bring to the table. I would not go as far as to say, as you said, like I wouldn't go as far as to say that like he's, you know, surpassing Showtime or surpassing Max Packs yet, but it's definitely something to pay attention to, right? It's like, okay, like I see you Skilless, like can we keep this up, right? Can we keep showing these other big performances again, or is this a one-off sort of thing? So I feel like he's definitely caught the attention of a lot of people and a lot of viewers.
Definitely. And speaking of catching our viewers' attention, if you hadn't noticed, we are now on Site Delta. We're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right. We have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Team Liquid. We have Cure.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator. And just before we head into this game, a big shout out to Shiva Blaster in the chat for resubscribing for 29 months. That's a lot of months. That's a lot of support. That's over 2 years of support. Gracias. Thank you so much for the support. And of course, this message, let's go Creator. We do have a Creator fan in the chat.
Of course. Yeah. Naturally. You don't get to that many months in a row, I think, without coming to become a fan of some of our players that we feature regularly here, especially the Club NV boys.
Yeah, we do have some close ties with Club NV, and we've always got a lot of love for Creator as well, and we'll see how well he can perform here. We'll see, as Cure is, you know, quite a Titan himself. We saw him look quite dominant over Rogue just recently. We see Creator being quite a nuisance here. Almost gets an SCV, does get them both quite low, but he's gonna have to try to avoid that Marine. I don't think he can. Oh.
He cannot. He tried to be sneaky, but Cure, he can sense disturbances in his natural base.
There you go. He is
He's also skipping out in the Reaper.
Yeah, this is so this has become a trend amongst the Korean Terrans. We see Beyond do this a lot, and we see Maru do this a lot. And we actually saw it over the weekend, where both Beyond, Maru, and now Cure, they often skip not just the Reaper, but also the SCV Scout. So they see nothing, by the way. They have no idea what's going on. They open up and play safe behind this, and they feel that they have the confidence to just react and respond to whatever comes their way anyway. So this is a bit greedy play here from our Terran player, as we have our follow-up on the way.
That is a 3 racks, which I suppose should be expected. This is Cure that we're talking about.
How's that? Did you just suddenly get some deja vu? Like they're casting Cure in ESL Open Cup Asia like 3 years ago, doing the exact same builds.
Every single game, every single time against Protoss. I think that was that one finals he played against Zess where they went all the way to the ace match, and every single time Cure went 3 racks. And then there was literally the week after that, I think every Protoss player figured out how to beat 3 racks. But Cure still insisted on doing it against every Protoss player he'd face.
Yeah, for those wondering, again, we've been casting ESL Asia since its inception at this point every week, and there was a solid period in time in the earlier days. We're talking like 2020 era of StarCraft, or maybe even coming into 2021, where Cure was very much so he was known for his TvP. To be fair, he had really good TvP, and he was known for just 3 raxing.
Yep. For a solid 2 to 3 months. That was all that he did in TvP.
Yeah, and it left an impression. It did leave an impression.
We saw it work at first, but after a while it just stopped being effective. At least when we were casting him, so we were a little bit baffled. At one point I had to wonder if we were the problem. If we were just like bad luck charms for Cure, because every time we casted him going 3 racks against a Protoss player, just didn't work, but he kept doing it, so it had to have worked.
I'm getting more deja. This was the meme at the time, and we said the exact same thing. We're like, he keeps doing it, and it just keeps not working. What's going on? That was just the trend at the time. Meanwhile, Creator is going 4-gate. He's going 4-gate Blink Stalker, a very aggressive build himself. Sure, we have a lot of Marines, and Stim is about to finish. And how will these armies clash in the center of the map? Cure is going for his 3-racks timing with Stim. Meanwhile, Creator will have an abundance of Blink Stalkers to work with.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite able to get to that main base, but he did see a handful of Marines in the natural. He also knows that Creator skipped out, or that Cure skipped out on his Reaper, so Creator should know that aggression is coming his way.
Ooh, and the army is spotted by the Adept. You can see Creator immediately does respond. He does react. He does spot the main army. There are no medevacs. Bear that in mind. There's that first stim. The stim is spent, and we do get away.
Yeah, nice little bit of bait here from Creator. Without any medevacs here, Cure has to be so careful with when he stims and what he gets done after that. So to bait out the stim like this, we can see it right now. Cure is trying to get to a safe location until he can get his medevacs here.
Yeah.
He knows he can't keep pushing with this damaged army.
I mean, he is going to be cornered. We have a blink available here. A lot of Marines going to be going down. There's that second stim. We do blink away, but this time we can potentially chase down some of these Stalkers. Never mind, Creator. He only loses one Stalker. A second Stalker goes down.
Yeah, there's some nice blink control coming out from Creator. Still a very potent Bioforce, so a couple of Stalkers will go down, but with that flank, Creator is able to completely shut down this aggression, and now he's going to counterattack.
Yeah, and look at the trades here. That was 4 Stalkers for 18 Marines and 2 Marauders. What we will say, though, is that Cure did buy time, and Cure, with his 3 Vaxes, he's been able to reproduce an army. Not as large as the one that he just lost, but he has Marines, he has Marauders, he has a bunker on the high ground. The main base is more exposed, and because it was the 3 Vax, he has no tanks.
That he does not. He's about to get some medevacs here as well, so Cure can continue to keep stimming, but like you said, that main base is very vulnerable. Creator not going for the main, though.
Yeah, it doesn't go for the main base. He trades here at the natural instead. We can see Creator rotating around. Behind this, third base is on the way. We have the Bay as well, so he's working towards a Colossus transition, but Cure, now with medevacs, he can move out once again.
Yeah, and this is probably the smarter option for Creator to, not throw away all of his map control by trying to get some damage in the main base, but like you said, that was an opening that Creator was not aware of. Tank's not siege, tank's not siege.
The tank is unsieged.
And the wall is not a wall.
Yeah, the wall is wide open. We're diving on top of the tank. Boys, they have to be pulled, and the tank is going to be focused down.
And without the tank, I was going to say the rest of this Bioforce falls down pretty quickly, but that's 2 Marauders.
Yeah.
With medevac support, will be able to chase away some Stalkers. And this Bioforce in the middle of the map has not been dealt with.
It has not. Shield battery goes down. The base itself going to be targeted down as well. Very nice pick off here by Cure. He gets a kill on the third base. He gets into the mineral line. Probes are going down as well, and Cure may lose some of this army, but this has been worth it. He shaves off a lot of units, a lot of the economy, but now now Creator has that Colossus.
And that's definitely going to be worrisome here, or a little bit of a bother for Cure to try to deal with. But like you said, he's already dealt enough damage to Creator's economy and to Creator's infrastructure. He doesn't quite have that fort base where he has a position to fall back to.
Yeah, exactly. I just worry about the counterattack here. Like, with the Colossus, that's a pretty hefty army. Bearing in mind that the first tank was sniped earlier, we do have 2 tanks here to defend. Cure is taking his third base, but he's going to be exposing himself to do so. And Creator is going for a big push right now. He is down a base. He's trying to rebuild. He's trying to remax. And Creator, he's coming out with a massive army.
Yeah, he knows that he has to. Takes on the low ground, but they do have bio support, and the rest of the Protoss army isn't quite in position yet. Takes a while for this Colossus to get there.
Yes, it does. Meanwhile, we blink on forward. A bit of a baited blink there. 3 Stalkers go down. Very nice trade by Cure. Tank volleys go off as well. Creator, he's up to 2 Colossus, but he bled out too much. And Creator, he has to retreat.
Yeah. He has to retreat, having not met his objective. He hasn't been able to reciprocate any of the damage that Cure has thrown this way.
Yeah, and now Cure, he's up in workers, he's up in bases. I mean, wait, even in bases, I should say, but Cure is on 66 SCVs. Creator is going for a Dark Shrine. That is a way to bounce back in this game, but, oh god, it's still going to be difficult here. The pressure right now, the onus is on Creator to get some damage done.
I want to believe. A couple of DTs did get warped in. 1 DT got warped in.
Yeah, we get the 1 DT in the Warp Prism. We have 2 more DTs out on the map as well, trying to find a way in towards these bases. Scan does reveal a Dark Templar. Oh.
He thought it was an observer.
Yeah, he did.
But it wasn't.
And we're gonna
will come into position. Ooh, great body blocking here from Cure.
Yeah, very nice hold position, Micah. There are a couple of SVs are going to be going down. We do get 5 SVs. We recall back home, but no, we don't recall in time. The turret does finish up, and Cure defends. Did bleed out 5 SCVs, but he did well for himself here, shutting down that Dark Templar. He's moving out. As he moves out, Cure Creator moves in.
Yeah, trying his best to keep this army at bay. Cure now up 20 supply overall, about 25 army supply here. And that's definitely a terrifying sight. You know, Protoss generally can get away with having a lower army supply, but just looking at the third base position here of Creator, I don't think he has enough shield batteries or anything else to be able to repel this.
Yeah, and those 2 Novas, they were a little bit too trigger happy that we wasted them, and now we have no Novas to defend. Overcharge is popped once again. The overcharge feels a little bit premature here as Cure does stand forward, takes down the shield batteries, threatens that third base of the tanks that's sieging up.
Yeah, Zelts will be able to get rid of them, and these Vikings do get sniped by the Stalkers. Creator doing everything he can to try to keep these Colossus alive. He knows that's the backbone of his army right now.
Yeah, exactly. As now we dive on top of the crucial parts here. On top of the Robo units, 1 Colossus goes down. Nova going to be going off as well, but a good split out of Cure. He does dodge it. Up.
Oh. And for the most part, is able to dodge the second one, but will still be taking a couple of hits. Bioforce is starting to thin out. Reinforcements are coming in. A couple of well-timed stims can absolutely turn the tide here for Cure. Loses a lot of his Stalkers. Loses 1 of his Colossus and 3 of his Disruptors. All of his Disruptors.
Yeah, every Disruptor did go down, but I'll be honest, that Juicy Nova just saved Creator there. That was a big detonation here on the Bio army of Cure, and Creator, he still holds on. He's still alive. He gets away with the 4th base as well. Cure just now getting his own 4th instead. Creator is still in this, but as you mentioned, losing all those Disruptors is brutal because he has to rebuild.
He does have to rebuild, but he has a little bit of time to rebuild. You know, he's really bloodied the army of Cure quite a bit. It's going to take a while for him to get back and gear up for push number 3 at this point. Yeah, push number 3 at this point.
Yeah, it's Cure. He is just amassing his army for that 3rd wave, as you mentioned. Creator, he does have vision here in the center of the map, but you can see that we're rotating around. The Zealot is going to be able to spot this. Does confirm Creator is getting ready, but again, Creator, he barely has an army.
Yeah, he had a little bit of time to rebuild, but not enough time. Scan will confirm the positioning of the Protoss army.
Does confirm tanks going to be sieging up. The first tank does survive. The overcharge is going to be popped, but again, we just don't have enough firepower here.
Yeah, everything gets pushed back. Stalkers not quite able to deal with these Vikings. Colossus somehow staying alive. Quick little warping of Zelts will provide a bit of a buffer, but that battery overcharge does run out. And with it, so does the life of Creator. GG is called. Cure takes game number 1.
GG, well played. Cure does take the game there. I mean, it was a very chaotic game. It was back and forth is what I will say, but there was that moment, there was that fight where Cure was able to just snowball out of control, where his second wave was able to come in. That was the moment when he killed the Nexus. If you remember, he killed the Nexus, he killed all the workers as well, and yeah, he just more than paid for itself, and he didn't take any damage from the counterattack.
Yeah, none at all. Damage that I really thought would have been dealt. Just considering the fact that he only had 1 tank on the high ground there, and it did get blinked on top of very, very early, but I guess it goes to show the power of Marauders. Marauders with medevac support, I should add.
Yeah, I remember the moment. It was 2 Marauders with some medevacs above, and they were able to hold the line there. They forced back the Stalkers. I do agree that I think Creator was banking a lot on that counterattack to either drag back the army or do some critical damage. It did nothing in the end. I mean, it killed the tank, but that's all it really did, and that means that Cure could focus on his push, and that's where he just did game-ending damage there, and was able to snowball out of control from there.
Yeah. That was at one moment in the middle of the game where Creator was able to get that juicy purification over that kept him alive, but 1 good Nova at that point wasn't going to be enough to win him the game. It's going to be enough to keep him alive, but Cure wasn't dead either.
Yeah, he needed one more. He needed 2 Novas is all he needed, but he only got the 1. And with that, now we're getting into game number 2.
Indeed we are. It's going to be on Alcione, over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We have our red Terran player coming down from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Team Liquid, the mayor of Six City himself. We have Cure.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Club NV. Down to this series, can he bounce back here in Game 2 and force that ace match? It is Creator.
Here we go. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see the 3 racks.
I can't imagine we're going to see it again, because if you remember, the initial 3 racks actually didn't do much. It got cleaned up. Like, the start of the game was pretty good for Creator in that first game. I guess it was the follow-up, right? It was the second wave, the second push. That's what really got the damage done. That's what Creator was not able to defend against. So I guess you can make an argument for it, but I feel like Curie is he's gonna mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it's no longer 2021,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he has evolved a little bit in this matchup, but we'll see. Counterpoint to your analysis there is that the follow-up push from Cure was possible because he went 3 racks.
True.
But this is going to be a 1-1.
Yeah, it is a double gas opener, so it's going to be a racks into factory here, followed by the command center. So something a lot more standard from Cure. Less economic, to be fair. If you remember, we had a more economic opener in the previous game. So we'll see where this leads. We'll see how aggressive we want to be in the early game.
Yeah, it's looking a lot more standard coming out here from Cure. Double Reaper, I imagine single Hellion. We have been seeing a couple of Terran players go for a little bit more of a souped-up version of the Scouting Force. Things like triple Reapers and triple Hellions as well.
Yeah. We have seen that. We saw that a lot from Maru over the weekend as well in his TvPs to go Reactor Reaper Hellion. As we can see, there's no Reactor. There's no Reactor here, so we're staying light here on the Reaper production. Getting into our 3rd Reaper, we do dip in across the map, and we have our tech of choice from Creator.
Yeah, once again, that's going to be a Twilight Council going to be coming up. I mean, it's going to have to be Blink from here. I mean, Twilight Council, it's got 3 upgrades, but in PvT, you don't get glaved, just in general. And sometimes we see charge, but if we did, we'd see a lot more gateways.
For sure. And as you mentioned, there it is. Blink is going to be on the way. Now, whether we go 4-gate Blink again or maybe a different variation of Blink is yet to be determined. After Game 1, I don't expect to see 4-gate Blink. I would not be surprised if we go 2-gate Blink into a 3rd base. As I say that, though, we are getting up to 3 gateways already.
Yeah, and the Robo facility follow-up, so we'll see what comes out first, if it's going to be an Observer or if it's going to be a Warp Piston.
Oh.
This is nice. This is a cute little move here from Cure. Making use of the KD8 charge to just jump over a building.
There we go. He does dive into the main base. Is going to be shut down here, trying to get some extra scouting information. At the same time, Hellions are diving into the natural, trying to distract Creator. We get some big volleys off. 2 probes going to be going down, and we get a 3rd probe just barely towards the end. Yeah,
this harassment force will get cleaned up, but that's pretty decent here from Cure.
Definitely.
Once again, going to try to go for that mine jump. I was going to say rocket jump, but it's technically not a rocket. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same premise there. Unfortunately, not able to knock ourselves into the main base a 2nd time. Regardless, good economic damage was dealt there by Cure, and we're following it up with a mine drop. Again, a follow-up we don't often see anymore here in this matchup. The Reaper does get in, by the way.
Yeah, I got the rocket jump. Mine jump the 2nd time. Their mine's going to go off on single probes. And yep, Creator should be able to get rid of that. Reaper doesn't make it out alive. And neither will the mines.
Yeah, we do try to split them up, and it looks like one Widowmine gets shut down, the second Widowmine as well. Creator has successfully defended, and oh, I spoke too soon! Uh-oh. That could be a problem.
Huh. It could be a problem. It could not be a problem.
It's true, as we are going to be waddling in, but we have Stalkers in position, and we do thankfully shut down the Widowmine. Whew.
I'm gonna say that this was intentional from Creator. He lulled Cure into a false sense of security only to strip it away right at the end.
Yeah, like, Papi, just let me cope a little bit. Let me cope. Okay. It was intentional, man. It was intentional. As you do see Creator dipping out across the map for some harassment. We don't find much damage, though, as Cure is fully fortified, getting up to his 3-1-1 setup here, working towards his upgrades, his add-ons. We're working towards Stim, Combat Shields, and +1, and we're being active with our drops. Meanwhile, Creator has opted not to go Colossus this time. We're going for Storm.
Yeah, very early Storm, which is a much bigger risk, to say the least. You know, Storms can be a little bit hit or miss when you're using them defensively. They can zone away the army for a little period of time. But once you run out of Storm, it's not too difficult, really, for... there's pretty much nothing holding the Terran army back.
Oh, exactly. You have to be very careful with your storms. Meanwhile, we do feed back the medevac, but we get the unload nonetheless. Marines, they get into the natural base. Probes are being targeted down. We get 6, 7, 8, 9 probes already here. Very nicely done. Medevac is going to be shut down, but this was worth it. Again, this was in conjunction with the Raven harass earlier, which also killed a couple of probes, but very nice damage dealt here by Cure.
Yeah. Once again, going to slow down the economy of Creator, and High Templar are pretty expensive units. Taking out 10 probes like this is absolutely well worth it here for Cure. Creator not quite saturating that third assimilator, or the fourth assimilator either, so that's going to eat into his gas even more. Creator doing whatever he can to slow down Cure, including delaying that third. It's something.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
He gets a couple of SCVs, delays the third base. It is something, as you mentioned, but we need more damage as Cure pushing through the center of the map, reinforcing it with the Zonaga. Meanwhile, another mine drop here, a bit of a later mine drop that we don't typically expect to see, so it is going to be catching Creator off guard. We'll see if he can react in time, though, as Cure is going for that 1-2 punch. Widow mine drop does come into the natural. Oh,
and we do have a reaction. Nice little drag away from that AoE damage. Medevac survives, but the Widow Mines will get 2 probes in the end.
Yeah, good defense here by Creator. At the same time, Cure did not push in with his main army, so he didn't make use of that distraction. He's just biding his time, building up his forces, and teching up as well, as I believe the Ghost Academy just finished up here at the natural, and we're in the midst of taking a third. Oh my god!
Huge storms right on top of this bio army clumped together. Huge chunks of that army do get taken out. It's mostly Marauders that survive towards the end here, and they won't be doing too well against these Zealots. More importantly, though, Cure has just lost his map control.
He has lost that map control. He does have a tank in the back line. He has Widow Mine setting up as well, but Creator, he wants to go for the kill. He wants to go for the throw. Chargeless, they have arrived. First mine shot is going to be baited out. We have 3 mines left, and we're diving in, and we have another storm.
Yeah, nice and juicy storm. Cure able to pull away most of his bio towards the end there, but that's a lot of damage being dealt. It isolates the tanks and allows them to get picked off, and without the tanks, this Bioforce really cannot stand on its own.
Exactly, especially with their storms. They were insane. Big storms here on the army. We denied the third base. We get to kill the third base. GG gets called as Cure scans and sees the third, and Creator will tie things up 1-1.
GG. Nicely done here for Creator. A little bit of a reversal from game number 1 here. I say that. Cure was still playing aggressive, but a very different style of aggression. Creator this time, though, was much more prepared to deal with it.
Oh yeah, he was prepared to deal with that aggression. Likewise, as you mentioned, we had a very early storm timing from Creator that he was able to make full use of as well. Not just that, but it was a big deal that he was able to catch Cure off guard and unawares in the center of the map. As it all started off with those two big juicy storms on Cure's army, and that just started the snowball effect of Creator. Ooh, very nicely done, and I mean, hey, we have a series.
We do, in fact, have a series on our hands. A best of 3. That's going to be going to the ace match. You know, that storm, it caught Cure off guard, and it caught me off guard as well. Quite a bit. I was not expecting Creator to be trying to go for a timing with that earlier storm. You know, usually, when I think of a TvP, especially when the Protoss player is up against somebody as active and as aggressive as Cure, I imagine you want to defend, right? Well, Creator says, yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to turtle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, nice little analysis of his opponent, I suppose, and the ability to figure out how to beat him. But regardless, he is still alive, and he is here spawning on Oceanborn over in the top left-hand corner map. Spawning all the way in the top left, we have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He, of course, is going to be representing Team Liquid. We have Cure.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Club NV, tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. Can he go the distance? Can he take this entire series? It is Creator. And as we settle into the ace match here, a big shout out to Chileno Singaporean in the chat. Papi, oh my god, thank you so much for resubscribing for 39 months, over 3 years of support. Thank you so much. Chileno was not quite from the beginning, from almost the beginning there, from the inception of the CranKy Ducklings. Thank you so much for supporting for so long. Gracias, papi, gracias.
Gracias, muchos.
Sí.
Great to have, it's great to have our Española speaking Singaporean, at least people living in Singapore who speak Spanish, consolidating together here on the channel, in this channel.
This is when you find out Chileno Singaporean actually founded the Platypus Cantina, and he's... Oh no, it's your fault. For those that are curious, there was a Mexican restaurant in Singapore. I don't know if it's still there.
Whoa. Mexican inspired. Okay, let's clear that one up.
Yeah, true. There's nothing Mexican about it. You're not wrong.
And I can confirm it is not only still there, but they also opened up another location close to where I live.
Oh god. There's a place called the Platypus Cantina that we did go to many years ago when I did visit Singapore. Went with Yaku as well. Oh my god. We do have a big reaction here from Cure as we had to put a hold on that story. We do have a proxy Stargate as a creator. Oh my god.
Yeah, not quite what I was expecting from Creator in the ace match, but already, before producing anything from that Stargate, he is able to frazzle Cure quite a bit. Really good job with the Zealot and this Adept as well, by the way, to just keep the Reaper of Cure on his side of the map, just completely denying him any vision of the map whatsoever.
Yeah, it does deny that vision. It does contain a Cure here on the low ground behind this. We're getting to a safety cyclone. Thankfully, Cure has seen nothing across the map. We do deny once again, just containing, keeping Cure locked in.
This Reaper is trying so hard. It just wants to escape. It wants to break free, and it will towards the end here. Adepts are really good at keeping Reapers at bay. Zealots, especially vanilla Zealots, not so much.
Yeah, the Reaper does get away. Did we speak too soon?
Flank.
Yeah, at the same time, we do have our Oracle getting to the main base. The Adept gets into the natural. 2 workers do go down, but the Reaper is going to be able to barely get away. Can we get off the ramp before the shade does complete? We can!
And Cure, if he wasn't aware before, he is well aware now. That is a proxy on the map. That is a proxy Stargate on the map.
Yeah, and honestly, we haven't done much with it yet. We killed 2 SCVs, which is okay, but with 2 Oracles, we need to get more done here for Creator. Of course, with 2 Oracles, he can DPS down SCVs that much faster as well, but there is a Cyclone and a Marine lying in wait.
Yeah. You're not really giving Creator any openings. Cyclone actually locks on the weakened Oracle, and the DPS is not going to be enough to out damage the healing, the repair of all of these SCVs.
Yeah, that was brutal. Now we get a third Oracle, and maybe with 3 Oracles, it would have been enough to break through that Cyclone, but we no longer have that initial Oracle Creator. He has to back off. He has to rotate around towards that natural base. This natural is more exposed. There's no Cyclone here, but as I say that, Cure is rotating over.
Yeah, 2 more SCVs go down, and Creator is able to dip out before losing any more of his Oracles, but still. This proxy has not paid for itself yet.
Oh. There you go. Speaking of, the proxy is going to be found out, and Cure is going to be on top of that, going to be shutting it down. Meanwhile, Creator setting up here back at home, going for, once again, that is 4-gate Blink.
Huh. A little bit of a different path to getting here this time, but in the end, it all comes down to 4-gate Blink. I mean, I'm trying to think of what other unit compositions we see in PvT. Occasionally, Phoenix Colossus, you know, occasionally some Tempest Void Ray play, but for the most part, early game PvT, you really need Blink to stay alive.
Yeah, and I mean, you raise a good point here, is that this is all heavily delayed because of the failed proxy Stargate, and as a result, Creator, he's getting into his 3rd base, right? He's going for a more macro, more defensive setup here instead, just making sure he can survive and get into his 3-base economy. Meanwhile, Cure, he's chilling behind this, getting into his 3-1-1, upgrades are on the way. Once Stim is complete, we should have Medivacs, and then Cure is going to be moving out on the map. We'll see if Creator can get to some kind of splash damage before or as that happens.
Yeah, but for the most part right now, he is focusing more on his Gateway army. Blink just finished up, Charge is now on the way. There is no Robo facility, so Colossus aren't really an option right now. He could try to throw down a Templar Archives,
Yeah.
I suppose. How many years have I been casting, and how many times do I still mix up Twilight Council and Templar Archives? I always have to double take after I say one of them and be like, is that the right structure?
It's fine, obviously.
It is.
I do the same thing in my mind. Like, whenever I say Temple Archives for the next, 3 seconds, I'm thinking to myself, did I say the right thing? I'm like, no, yeah, I said the right thing. It's all good. But I'm never sure of myself, as we are going to be avoiding the main army. Blink is the main. Stim is going to be stunned. Oh, it finishes just in time.
Yeah, unfortunate here for Creator. He's gonna at least be able to deny combat shields, but that is still not the most impactful upgrade here. Or not the most impactful upgrade to deny, I should say.
Yeah, exactly. A Stim did completely punish Creator so hard that so many Stalkers just went down. That was 4 Stalkers falling. And now Creator, I should say, is on the back foot. He has to race back home. We have a Viking harass here in the main. Is going to be shut down. We get 2 more probes, and Cure is pushing.
He is. There's no reason for him not to.
Oof.
Creator gonna try to do everything he can to slow this down, especially if he can snipe a mine or a cyclone, one of these factory units, but Cure is positioning his Bioforce in such a way that if Creator ever tries to do that, he's gonna take damage. He's gonna take a lot of damage.
Yeah, exactly. As we do see Creator just rotating around towards his 3rd base. I mean, Charge is done. He has his army, does catch the army with a stasis as well. Very nicely done here. Full medevac goes down as well. Good defense by Creator. At the same time, Cure does drop into that middle line. 6 probes go down. Thankfully, though, it was only a mine drop, and a Creator can focus on his counterattack.
Just like that, Creator's back in this game.
He is back in this. What do we have to defend, by the way? We have a couple of Widow Mines, we have a bunker, we have medevacs, sure, but not much to actually support said medevacs. Oh, you can see the Creator, he is going to be distracted. He does pull back to deal with these Marauders.
Yeah. Try to deal with that. Nice placement of this spotter pylon, by the way.
I does spot the army and will shut it down, but this is giving Cure some breathing room. He's able to buy some time. Cure, he's rebuilding, he's remaxing back at home, he's stabilizing here on his side of the map.
Yeah, he's doing all that, and he was harassing a little bit with this Widow Mine, but it seems like it was only able to get 1 probe in the end.
Yeah, the 1 probe went down, 3rd base now being taken. Cure is just securing himself on his side of the map. Meanwhile, Creator is taking a 4th base. We have survived any kind of danger that Creator was in earlier. He is now no longer in. and we have our splash damage of choice. Once again, it is going to be Storm.
Yeah, might as well. At this point, I'm a little bit surprised that we don't see a robo facility yet, just to have access to some observers or warpism. There we go. Yes, as I say, that creator throws one down. But yeah, trying to get into Colossus from here, or even Disruptors from here, I think would take too much time.
Yeah, it's wood, and Creator is still just poking in, but that's a lot of mines here. Takes a mine shot to the face, takes down the Widow Mine at least, but yeah, this Bio Army is not one to be trifled with yet. As we do have another drop across the map, Cure has been so active with these mine drops.
He has. And every single time he drops a Widow Mine, Creator has generally been on top of things, but it does kind of spread his attention. It does kind of spread Creator's attention thin, so the more Cure does it, the more likely he's able to get a huge connection and completely wipe out a mineral line, potentially.
Exactly. We don't quite get one here in the main base, and now Creator, he can focus on his defense back at his natural as well. We do blink in, and the medevac will barely be able to escape, just barely here. And we'll see how Creator approaches this now. Storm is now done. He has plenty of High Templar, but you can see that Creator, he isn't pushing. He's still taking up even further into eventually Colossus.
Yeah, Colossus, Disruptors, anything to diversify splash damage. We already have Ghosts on the map. A couple of good EMPs will absolutely shut down these High Templar, and as a Protoss player, the last thing you want in PvT is to have zero form of splash damage.
Exactly, so we have the Colossus on the way. We're making 2 Colossus at a time here for Creator. Meanwhile, Cure is taking his 4th base. Creator did spot this with that Stargate. He's aware of the base being taken. We'll see if he can do anything about it yet. Again, I imagine the Creator, he mostly wants to wait for his Colossus count to build up first before being active.
Yeah, you don't want to start walking without a backbone.
Uh-huh. Is there more to that?
And in this case, the Colossus is the backbone.
It is. Meanwhile, Cure, he's the first to max out. By the way, he's got Bio, he's got Marauders, plenty of medevacs. He has Ghosts as well, a handful of Vikings, not too many to be fair. And it looks like the Colossus, they come out just in time. Can Creator hold on? It's going to be a tough hold here for the Protoss.
I think he can hold on, but not if his army is split like this. Only one Colossus here, and we don't have Thermal Lance just yet. Very good EMPs coming down here from Cure. Going to be able to blanket this entire half of the army. The other half is coming in from the side, though, and it does have High Templar. A couple of good feedbacks. Will get rid of some of these ghosts.
Yeah, and we had some very good storms there out of Creator, by the way. The storms did connect, did zone Cure away, and Creator, he barely holds on. The other impressive thing here is that Creator only lost one of his Colossus. He does maintain the rest. He's going to be able to defend this space and barely loses any of his economy.
Still got a backbone. He can walk.
He can walk. He can maybe even run here. Cure is risking it a little bit by going for a triple drop towards that 4th base. Creator is not too far behind, but he is actually in the midst of moving out, so Cure could find an opportune moment here to dive in, as we do see Cure being active here on the right-hand side as well. The main army has just been spotted. Now Cure is going for it.
Yeah, trying to go for a little bit of multi-prong, and like you said, the army of Creator is all the way in the middle of the map, forced to recall his high-tech units to deal with this, but he recalls right on top of the Bioforce. Colossus will go down. Rest of this drop will fall as well as 9 probes. But that was a pretty hefty loss here from Creator.
Yeah, to lose the Colossus was brutal. Meanwhile, we see Creator committing to his push. He's going to be reinforcing. Remember, recall's on cooldown, which means he cannot recall any longer, and Cure is going for a big backstab. We have to go for a base trade.
Yeah, it's his only choice. Look at this minefield, though. Creator going to take a lot of damage moving up this ramp. Loses just about every single one of his charge lots, but he does still have a couple of them in the back line coming in to the front. We are in full base trade mode.
Yeah, he's pushing up into the main base. Ooh, one disruptor goes down to the Widow Mines. We do have reinforcements in the main as well. Big EMP on the High Templar, by the way. No more storms. And again, the Creator is going to be able to clean this up, but he bleeds out another disruptor. At the same time, Cure, he has control of the natural. No more robo production. Now we're pushing into the main base, and we're camping the main.
Yeah, fun fact here about Protoss buildings. they can't fly.
Yeah, buildings they cannot float away. Creator does have a ninja base, does throw down this center nexus instead, and he's came to the production. We can see though that we're trading as best we can. Boys are being pulled. We're still bleeding out a couple of zealots and a couple of gateway units here.
Yeah, but as long as Creator keeps his units that shoot up alive, he still has a fighting chance. You're now floating his production, trying to get them towards that planetary, not quite a planetary fortress yet, actually.
Yeah, and another thing that's really important, actually, is that these High Templar, they were EMP'd earlier, but they didn't die. They're regaining energy right now. They can soon storm once again. We have 2 storms in the chamber. Planetary is done. We're floating on over. This orbital base is gonna be going down. Just barely. No, we have the repairs. It does go down.
Does go down, but the rest of the production is still up, and we do have another planetary fortress there. That building is a planetary, so it's gonna hurt quite a bit for Creator to try to fight into that, but I guess he doesn't have to. He recognizes that he does have a little bit of a better army. It's larger, and it does have more spellcasters. The one chance Cure has here is EMPs. One EMP will connect, and the Warp Prism goes down.
Yeah,
no
the
more dribbling potential here for Creator.
Yeah, the Prism goes down. We get the hell out of here as well. We do snipe one of those medevacs towards the end. One medevac does fall. Barely didn't have any units in it. We did manage to get away, but as you mentioned, Creator in a head-to-head fight, he can win this. He can take down Cure.
Yeah, it's all about whether or not Cure gives him that fight, though.
Yeah, exactly. So far, Cure trying to get away, trying to slip away whenever he can, lifting up once again. We do have the High Templar coming in for the flank. Up.
Yeah. I don't think he can feedback, though, because those medevacs don't really have any energy on them.
Yeah.
They try to storm, but storms can pretty easily be avoided in the air.
Yeah, the storms get thrown down. That was 2 storms spent. At the same time, we're going to be recalling it towards the left-hand side, trying to catch that drop. Cure does have a base up and running. He does have an economy, but so does Creator. Not so much, actually. No. Barely any mining.
Yeah, Cure has an economy. Creator has mining. Yeah. 4 probes versus 32 SCVs. I don't think there are mules available, but when the worker disparity is that high, I guess you don't really need mules.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, things are still looking good for Creator. He just has to break free from the supply block. You know, he's got a bank to work with as well. But Cure has a lot of micro potential with his army, and he could try to EMP and collapse on top of this. Bearing in mind that Creator has a lot of his forces out on the map, which means he could be caught out. Does get a Viking.
Yeah, he does get a Viking, but Cure does confirm the position of that base. Longer this goes on, the better it is here for Cure. I like this from Cure as well. He's not remaking his factory or his starport. He knows that he has his medevacs. You know, they're fine. Doesn't really need the Vikings either, but what he really needs is more bio, is more ghosts, is more marines, is more meat on this bony army.
This army is so vulnerable. Like, everything's healed up, but look at those medevacs. Big EMPs that we do catch. The Immortals, we catch the High Templar as well, but we have a storm coming in from behind, or at least we should.
These High Templar move so slowly. That's the last of the EMPs.
Oh, it is the last, but the medevacs are going down. There is no escape. Big storm on the army, and only one medevac will get away. Bearing in mind, though, we have been rebuilding Ghosts. We're building Ghosts. We're building Marauders. Cure, he still has an army to work with, but he's lost most of it here out on the map.
Yeah, in terms of just units that fell, I do think that trait favored Creator a little bit, but we also have to keep in mind the mining situation, the production potential that Cure has here. That was not a good strategic trade in the end. A couple of ghosts getting very bloody though, and no medevacs. These ghosts can't be healed.
They cannot be healed. We're down to 6 ghosts here, and we can maybe EMP. High Templar are going to be moving forward. We're trading out a bit for the planetary. These are rough trades here for Creator at the same time. Did try to go in, but looks like we did defend back at home. That was a medevac going down.
The last medevac, I think. Yeah. No factory units, no starport units here for Cure. And, ghosts are pretty expensive.
They are. We did storm the mineral line
to rebuild.
Yeah, good split there. Meanwhile, we have been banking up Marines and Marauders in the main base. We catch some Stalkers. Uh-oh. The surround
is very real. I don't think Creator can even afford to recall at this point.
Yeah, it bleeds out an Immortal, bleeds out Archons as well. Creator, he's losing far too much supply. We have a couple of storms available, maybe one more storm. That's all we have left, and Curie catches out the army.
This is gonna be the end.
I mean, we're down to 2 Stalkers. That's all we have left. It was a good effort by Creator. He had his own army lead, that is true, but he could not break this planetary. He could not break the double planetary. And with a better economy, Cure, he does rebuild. He does amass an army. He sims on forward, and there's nothing left.
GG is called Cure. Gonna be taking that ace match. Gonna be taking that series 2-1 after everything went down to the wire. Oh lord, that was, I think, one of the closest base races, base trades I've seen in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
That was intense. That was absolutely post-apocalyptic, right until the very end there. Cure lost basically all of his production, aside from 3 barracks, but he still had that planetary fortress. He still kept a lot of his SCVs alive. Cure had kind of the, or Creator, sorry, had kind of the opposite, where he had his production still. He was able to repower some of his gateways towards the end there, but he didn't have any mining. He barely had any mining towards the end there, so it was a little bit of a ticking time bomb. It was a little bit of a Cure. Creator kind of had a little bit of a deadline there, and he almost was able to break Cure before the end of that game. But very important thing to keep in mind, with those 3 barracks that Cure kept alive and were floating, he didn't keep them at his plan. He didn't keep them with his planetary fortresses. He kind of stuck them back into the main base. He banked up Marines and Marauders that I don't think Creator knew existed. I don't think Creator knew that Cure was making them, because everything was at that base with the planetary fortress. In the end, did get caught by surprise, did get surrounded, and Cure was able to take it. GG. Very nice. Very good showing from both of our players here.
GG, well played. As you mentioned, like, if Creator was aware of that production in the main, he would have gone there instead, right? He wouldn't have been trying to break the planetary. He would have tried to punish that production instead, and maybe catch some of those Marines and Marauders out on their own as well. But as you mentioned, he was unaware. He got caught off guard. He got surrounded. GG, well played. Very impressive win there by Cure, and he advances on into the semifinals. Yaku, we have some updates to go over.
We have a lot of updates. That was a series that took a little while here, as we just went down to the ace match. And is there such thing as an ace match within a game itself? Because that's how close it felt. But anyway, we do have updates.